Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Lisa Sugart. Today I'm pleased to be joined by my good friend Charles McElwee. He is the editor of Real Clear Pennsylvania, and you also know him also as being a political analyst here at SSPTV. And we are on the set of the Sam Lassant Show, where we just finished a taping of a pre-election special that you will be watching this week as well. We were joined by Rick Morelli and, of course, the big man, Sam Lassant. Charles, we talked about the election, and now we'd like to talk about it for SSPTV Community News as well. It's not a local election this time, in the means that we're not voting for school board and city council. So they need to realize that even though these are major races for governor, for state representative, for Congress, for the United States Senate, we're going to feel the effects of who goes into those offices, correct?
Aren't we feeling it on TV? Every commercial is focused on the midterm right now. So if you're watching any sports game, whatever, you are just seeing ads for Ozra Fetterman or Josh Shapiro, his ads, and of course the congressional races. And it just shows you how big of a state, how Pennsylvania figures in national electoral politics. Everything runs through here. This is the keystone when it comes to swing cycles, and this is still a toss-up state.
In your job every day, you're dealing with the politics of Pennsylvania. That's what you do. And for our viewers, if they missed it, you were even on Fox and Friends recently on the Fox and Friends Weekend show. So congratulations for that, because that tells you just how impressive your background is and what you know about politics. So you focused on the race for United States Senate when you were on Fox and Friends. So what do you think of that race? This is a race that is really garnering attention nationwide.
It's out of a movie script. So you have John Fetterman, who has crafted this image for years, going back almost 15 years. He was mayor of Braddock in Western Pennsylvania, and he nurtured this persona of the working class hero, and the media obliged. So Rolling Stone, for example, had an article years ago in 2009, the mayor of hell, John Fetterman. Levi's ran an ad campaign, and he is running this campaign as the working class populist hero who has this progressive activist viewpoint. And he's facing Dr. Oz, who is not, of course, originally from Pennsylvania, but grew up just across the border in suburban Wilmington in the Philadelphia media market, originally from New Jersey. But the irony is Dr. Oz is running a campaign that you would think would be palatable to the suburban voter. If anything, if he does prevail, and all indications are that he very well could, he would be quite a centrist, moderate senator, really in the mold of the typical senator in Pennsylvania, whether it's Pat Toomey, who's in office now, or Arlen Specter, or any other senator in Pennsylvania's past. So this seat has historically been Republican. But they're facing each other, and it will be interesting to see how that plays out.
And the race for governor, Josh Shapiro, our current Attorney General, and also Doug Mastriano, who is retired military. So how do you think this is going to play out? Because Shapiro has lots of money that he's put into the race. Mastriano has not been advertising as much, doesn't have the money.
Josh Shapiro is crafting a centrist persona, a moderate who is palatable to suburbia and places that were until recently Republican but are now trending Democrat. Mastriano followed his own playbook. He didn't listen to anyone. He's running an unprecedented gubernatorial campaign, not engaging the press, did not deploy any advertising dollars on TV between the May primary and really up until recently. And he's running to the right of Donald Trump. And Trump didn't touch social issues when he ran in 2016 in Pennsylvania, for example. Mastriano is, and that creates a disadvantage for Mastriano in suburbia. People forget that Trump won suburbia, and it was in part because of how he was a pragmatist on so many concerns that transcended the party.
Well, we also have congressional races. The 8th District, Matt Cartwright and Jim Bognett. That's a heated contest that could go either way. And also the 9th District, Dan Muser, the incumbent, against Amanda Waldman, a financial representative. How are you looking at these two?
The 9th District is solidly Republican. Muser will very well likely win that race, just considering the composition of the district. The race between Cartwright and Bognett, that is one to watch. So it's a toss-up. This is historically Democratic congressional district. Cartwright has always been safe, but this is the fight of his life. And it's because this is a district that's now trending Republican in so many regions. But the question will be, can Cartwright overcome that advantage just by his popularity in his base, Scranton, which remains a solid blue city, almost similar to Philadelphia in its allegiance to the Democratic Party. So the turnout there could very well play a major role in the outcome of the race against Bucknett.
And lastly, we have the races for state representative. In the 116th, it is Dane Watrow, the Republican, against Yesenia Rodriguez, the Democrat. And in the 117th, it's only Mike Cabell on the Republican ticket, so he's unopposed. Right. So Mike Cabell will be our next state representative in the 117th. But in the 116th, two good candidates. Dane, who has has a military background, was the guy who was guarding Saddam Hussein when he was in Baghdad. So, you know, Yesenia Rodriguez, she is a small business owner in the city of Hazleton, Kiki's Bakery, if people are familiar with that. So these two going head to head, so this is an interesting matchup.
Interesting matchup, and an interesting time for this district, which was, in the past, you would assume that these were Democratic candidates who would have the advantage because this was once such a solidly blue area, even in recent memory. But it really is a Republican advantage for any candidate running for state legislative office in Greater Hazleton, Northern Schuylkill County, and really whoever prevails in that race, or Cabell in his district, they face similar issues in this area. The issue of, I think voters now consider it to be out of control warehousing development. That is dictated by the state municipal code in Harrisburg. What will they do in the legislature to reform zoning laws to check out of control warehousing development? Because that is the economic driver here. And while there are plenty of benefits, indisputable benefits to that growth, there are costs to it as well, from housing to the school district to just the loss of land. The fact that an area that is so naturally beautiful, we're losing so many of those wooded areas. That's the top concern that they will face, and it's really part of the broader issue of economics and inflation and just the quality of life in Greater Hazleton.
So true. And I want to mention, too, Watrow was a former mayor of McElwee. I forgot to mention that when I was introducing him as well. The bottom line is, get to the polls, cast your ballot in these very important elections that will be taking place on November 8th.